of the sponsors to say that they want to add those.
Whatever the proper procedure is.
Well, can you remember what it is?
With that,
So why don't you just say, here's the agenda, is there anything to add? And I'll call on Linda.
Sure. Looks like we're ready to go. Ready to start the meeting?
yes, thank you, Chair.
Okay, great. Thanks everybody for joining us today, February 7th Regional Board meeting. I'd like to acknowledge that we're holding the meeting on the traditional territory of the Tla'amin Nation. We have an agenda in front of us, but I understand there's a couple of late additions that are time sensitive. See, I want to pass it over to you to recognize the managers whose departments they are in.
Laura Rodden, Manager of Planning Services, could you describe your addition, please?
Yes, through the chair, at this morning's planning committee meeting, an application was considered as a provincial referral for a communication sites application in Gillies Bay on Texada Island. And the committee passed a supporting resolution to the board, and staff were unable to get a extension to the response deadline for this. And that's why the resolution is requested to be on today's agenda.
Okay, thank you. Put that under 10.2 or
Yeah, that'd be good.
okay, under resolutions 10.2.
And Linda Greenan, Manager of Financial Services, could you describe your sponsorship?
Thank you. Through the chair. The regional district has been working with the province to renew its lease for the Texada Island transfer station. Part of the lease renewal requires that we supply a irrevocable letter of credit of $50,000. And so this needs to be to the province by March 1st. And the board heard the report on that revenue anticipation bylaw amendment at its meeting yesterday. And so giving first reading through adoption today to that bylaw will allow us to get the signatures in place and give us some more time to get the bylaw to the province, or sorry, to get the letter of credit completed and to the province.
Thank you. So that would fall under, where are we at, 12.1? Is that right? Sure. The bylaws?
Yes.
Any other additions to the agenda? No? Can I get approval for the agenda? Director Gisborne, seconded. Director McCormick, thank you. Any other discussion? None? All in favor? Great, motion passes unanimously. Adoption of the minutes of the January 2024 board meeting. Any errors or omissions? So no hands. Any can we get adoption of the minutes, please? Or a motion to do that. Director Elliott, Director Gisborne, thank you. All in favor? None opposed, motion carried. No delegations, no unfinished business, and we have a number of items of correspondence. I'll ask in a moment if anybody has any business arising from correspondence, but I do want to make a comment about item 6.1, which is correspondence dated January 18th, 2024 from Ken Glaze regarding Western Forest Products logging within Lang Bay Waterworks community watershed. There are some comments in the email that state, I guess, some quotes where I believe he was misquoted. He has attributed some comments to the board or to a representative of the board, but I just want to make it clear that the board was not involved in any way in this discussion, and we don't have anything to do with the watersheds that Mr. Koch of the Western Forest Products has been in contact with Mr. Ken Glaze and directed him to the rest of the bodies. But I just wanted to make sure that the decision about watershed boundaries and about a potential fire break around those boundaries was never came before this board and was not voted on or discussed at this board. Are there any other comments that people would like to make on items of correspondence? Director Gisborne.
Yes, 6.6 and 6.7.
Okay, start off with, okay, they're the same issue. So
yeah, the billboards issue. Yes, thank you, Chair. I actually received another piece of correspondence, direct email from someone in Area B in relation to the billboards. My understanding is billboards are actually Ministry of Transportation jurisdiction. So I reached out to our local area manager, Reno Paris, He informed me that he is currently seeking advice from his traffic engineers and discussing with the operations manager. The ministry does have the authority to require remediation or removal. Now, the understanding is that within 300 meters of provincially owned highway right-of-ways, you can't have billboards, and it's up to the Ministry of Transportation to deal with that. Now, when you hear highways, people think 101. But as I understand, all rural roads are Ministry of Transportation highways right of way under the legislation. And then I asked for clarification on that from our MODI manager, Reno. And he said, and I'll quote, "Please inform your constituents that it is Ministry of Transportation of Infrastructure jurisdiction. And yes, all roads in the regional district are under MODI jurisdiction and are defined as highways under the Transportation Act." So we have had a number of correspondence in relation to it. My main concern is around, of course, distracted driving, and the appropriate body is Ministry of Transportation, and they are on it.
Great.
So we will see what happens.
Okay, thank you very much for the information. If there's no other comments, and
Sorry, just thank you, Chair. Just 6.8. Just because a lot of folks are following what's happening with marine finfish, pen fish, and just to check out the correspondence from Fisheries and Oceans on more public consultation with some interesting proposed changes for 2024 licensees that a lot of people are paying attention to these days. So I thought I'd point that out. Thank you.
okay, thanks very much.
And one other item.
Okay.
6.4 correspondence from Minister Cullen in relation to the invasive mussel species is in response to a letter that we sent, and in a matter that is of quite some concern. We are actually very fortunate not to have infested waters with these mussels. They can cause a huge cost to local government infrastructure, and I'm glad to see the province is taking some action. But I think it is something that we need to kind of keep in mind because if it gets into the province, then maybe we will need to advocate for, washing stations at the BC ferries, at the choke points coming into the community, because they can cause millions of dollars worth of damage and, cripple local government infrastructure of water and sewer. So
Thanks very much. We do have one item of business arising from correspondence regarding support for libraries. We have a suggested motion in front of us. If somebody would like to move that.
I'll move that.
Director Fall, Director McCormick, thank you very much. Any discussion? Seeing no hands up.
Sorry, that's okay. I was just going to say very briefly that, the provincial funding for libraries in general has gone down as a percentage of their costs. So it's more or less stayed flat while costs have gone up. So this is something all libraries deal with, the RIL, the Vancouver Island Regional Library, and I'm sure Powell River Regional Library as well.
If we've had very similar, almost identical initiatives in the past, and hopefully someday they'll be heard and acted upon. So,
keep squeaking.
If no other comments, all in favor? None opposed, motion carries. The consent agenda, we can remove items from there if anybody cares to do so. Seeing no hands up, can I get somebody to move the consent agenda? Director Gisborne, Director Elliott. I guess there's really no discussion in that case, so all in favor? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much. Resolutions. 10.1, proposed alternative meeting schedule. How do we want to act on this one?
So moved.
Director Gisborne, second by Director Lennox. Any discussion? Director Elliott.
Kind of like the idea of this new proposed schedule. I like breaking things up a little more. I was happy to hear that it worked for Director Lennox, who was trying to work full-time while carrying out all of our responsibilities here as well, and that this would be easier for him, or at least that's what I heard him say last time. So I'm kind of in favor of the new schedule.
Well, just to be clear,
proposed new schedule.
Yeah, we're just getting a report about it. So. Seeing no other hands, all in favor? Any opposed? Director Fall opposed. 10.2 to Ms. Rodden. Do we have a resolution? We do.
Yes, I'm going to share it right now. Thank
So
you.
moved, because I was here this morning.
Let's pull it up on the board. So you're gonna get a chance to look at it. And I'll just read it out to the public. That the Cathet Regional District advised the Ministry of Forests that Cathet Regional District supports the communication sites application submitted by City West Management Corp. On behalf of the Connected Coast Project in Gillies Bay, Texada Island, subject to the following conditions. A, the applicant ensure minimal disturbance to the foreshore and coastline during their installation phase, and B, the applicant be required to provide appropriate signage about the Connected Coast Project at this location to outline the duration of construction on site and ensure the public has adequate notice. Do we have a mover and seconder already? Director Gisborne and Director McCormick. Thank you very much. Any discussion?
Question.
Oh, sure. And then Director McCormick.
So my question is, whether the sites chosen have been consulted or have they solicited input from people who are immediately close to them, or, I wasn't part of the meeting this morning, so I'm not sure exactly where they are, but I do know that they can be quite controversial if people live next to them. And so my question is around consultation.
Ms. Rodden, I imagine you're the right person to answer that.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, through the chair. This is a provincial referral, and so the responsibility for public consultation it's the province's responsibility. That being said, this is an alternate site that Connected Coast has put forward. The original sites that were proposed were right in Gillies Bay, and they heard from the regional district and from property owners on Texada that would not be an appropriate location due to all the private parcels and the recreation reserve over the bay. And so this site is outside of that recreation reserve area, and it's not affecting any private properties. There is a map in Appendix A to the report in the Planning Committee agenda.
Great, thank you very much. Director McCormick, you had your hand up?
Yes, thank you, Chair. The site in question is not an issue for the people of Gillies Bay. It is at the very far end of Sanderson, which is uphill a bit, and where the TV tower for the community television network is already located. So it's really a good location in terms of there's already communication devices in that area, and these are respected by the community, and I believe this should be supported as soon as possible.
Great, thanks very much. Seeing no other hands, I'll call the question. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Bylaws 12.1.
Sure.
Oh, sorry, Director Dell.
Would this be an appropriate place to add a report for the North Island 911 meeting I was at last week?
Do you want to do it now, or do you want to hold it for direct reports in the next board meeting?
Well, I could do it now or the next board meeting, whatever you like.
What's the flavor of it?
It doesn't have to happen now.
Yeah, pass on it? Okay, we'll hold it during the director reports at the end of the month, if that's okay with you.
Yep.
Are we ready with bylaw?
Yes, thank you. So thank you through the chair. So I'll share my screen, and there'll be four resolutions that will be presented.
Okay.
So the first one's large, so it's on all by itself.
Perfect. Okay, can I get somebody to read that out?
I move that the committee I move that the board amend the Cathet Regional District Revenue Anticipation Borrowing Bylaw number 591/2023.
I'm so sorry, Director Gisborne.
I'll just also what? November 2. Stop it!
I'm so sorry.
You gotta read faster.
There's my humor. Bylaw number 591/2023 to provide additional credit of $50,000 in order to supply an irrevocable letter of credit to the province of BC for the lease of the property that houses the Texada Island Transfer Station.
Okay, seconded by Director Elliott, any discussion? None, all in favor? None opposed, motion carries.
Yeah.
Two.
I could probably share it better this time.
I move that the Cadet Regional District Revenue Anticipation Borrowing Amendment Bylaw number 591.1 2024 be given first and second reading.
Seconded by Director Lennox. Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? None opposed, motion carries. Is that where we're stopping or are we going right all the way through?
We're going all the way
All the way
through.
through. Okay, so
I move that the Cadet Regional District Revenue Anticipation Borrowing Amendment Bylaw number 591.1 2024 be given third reading.
seconded Director Lennox, discussion, all in favor? None opposed, motion carries, and
I move that the Cadet Regional District Revenue Anticipation Borrowing Bylaw, Borrowing Amendment Bylaw number 591.1 2024 be adopted.
seconded Director Lennox, all in favor, sorry, discussion, all in favor, or sorry, Director Fall, did you have something to say?
No, I was pre-voting.
Okay, all right, all in favor? Great, none opposed, motion carries.
Go borrow the money.
Thank you for your indulgence, board, for expediting those items.
13.1 proposal RE board process training by Al Sebring Consulting. I'm bringing this one forward. I've had a chance to speak with Al Sebring, whom all of us around the table know from our code of conduct development that he helped us out with, and I think that it's always a good thing to be learning as we go along. I know I have lots of things to learn, and I think Al can come up with ways for us to have more efficient and proper meetings. And I'm hoping that you will all support this motion to bring him in. He's got a lot of knowledge. He's had a lot of experience in local government, and I think his price is very reasonable. So if I get a seconder, I guess I should have.
I'll move it. Oh, you said you moved it. I'll second it.
Sorry about that, folks. I should have waited. But I've already said everything I needed to say. So anybody else have any comments? Director Gisborne, Director Fall.
Yeah, I remember Mr. Sebring when he was just a mayor, and I always found his advice just a mayor. I always found his advice very helpful and enlightening. I'm happy to support this motion, but reading the letter, the schedule, tentative schedule for sometime in mid to late March. At yesterday's finance committee meeting, we're having an additional finance committee meeting in March, and that means that we'll be finishing up our budget at the end of March. And we have a motion that is passed about a proposed tentative new schedule. And I'm just wondering, could we have Mr. Sebring's services in maybe April sometime?
I believe part of the reason why the price is quite reasonable is he's planning a trip out to the coast already. He has family out here. So if we were to put it off until April, I think the price tag might go up.
Okay. Well, I'm sure we'll have enough time.
It's a 3-hour session. I think we could probably squeak it in somewhere. Yep, Lennox.
Yeah.
Sorry, you know what? Director Fall was next.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you, Chair. I was just going to say, I think this could be really valuable. It's not really long. The price seems pretty good. And speaking as a chair of probably some of the longest meetings we've experienced, it would really help us, I think all of us, and it would especially help the chairs who chair some of these really long meetings to really hone some of the skills we have so that we can try to be as productive as we can. So I hope this happens.
Thank you very much, Director Lennox, and then Director Elliott.
Thanks, Chair. I support this as well. Definitely in the camp of still learning, and this type of training is invaluable. Just since we've been looking hard at our budgets lately, you know, this I think what's the total? Just under 3,000. It looks like for a quote. Where does the funding for this come from? Like, where would we be pulling?
Yeah.
Training budget, excuse me, through the chair training budget.
Okay.
Any other? Oh, yes, Elliott.
Thank you, Chair. So I'm always in favor of extra training. This seems extra specially reasonable in pricing. To send all of us to a course elsewhere that would be probably not as directed specifically at us would be quite a bit higher price. I love that we all get to talk to him for half an hour for free. That's amazing. Such a generous offer. I'm looking forward to my conversation with Mr. Steeping. I guess I'm in favor of doing this, and I'm hoping we can find a time frame that works for all of us, and schedules are kind of tight, so hopefully we get that scheduled sooner rather than later.
That's great. We'll work on it as soon as we possibly can. Seeing no other hands up, call the question. All in favor? Great, everybody's in support. Thank you very much. Question period. Mr. Galinsky, are you around?
Mr. Galinsky is around. Thank you, Chair, very much. With regard to the just concluded item 13.1, the board process training, what does board process training entail? I'm sure it's outlined in his proposal, but maybe you can give me a Cole's Notes version.
Well, it is outlined quite concisely in his proposal, but it's basically just he's gonna watch some of the meetings that we've been having. He's gonna interview each one of us about if we have any issues with meetings or if we have any questions about meetings, and then he's gonna sit down and just use his experience in local government to, I guess, give us tips, both as members of committees and hopefully, as Director Paul mentioned, some good tips for those who are sitting in the chair position.
Sounds like a good
I encourage you to read the proposal. It lays it out quite clearly there.
I will do that. Thank you very much, Chair. That was my question.
Seeing none other ones, we have in-camera session. Director Gibbon, you wanna?
Yeah. I move that the board move in camera, the meeting be closed to the public on the grounds that the subject matter to be considered relates to the matters covered by the community charter under section 91A, personal information about an identifiable individual who holds or is being considered for a position as an officer, employee, or agent of the regional district or another position appointed by the regional district. C, labor relations or other employee relations. I, the receipt of advice that is subject to solicitor-client privilege, including communications necessary for that purpose. K, negotiations and related discussions respecting the proposed provision of a regional district service that at their preliminary stages and that, in the view of the board, could reasonably be expected to harm the interests of the regional district if they were held in public, and end the consideration of whether a board meeting should be closed under provision of this subsection or subsection 2.
Second, Director Lennox. So didn't even have to ask. Any discussion? None. All in favor? Okay, we're going in camera. Unanimous.
And the sun is out.
My laptop is fully charged. Thank you. Al.
You're welcome.
Wow.
I think here's everybody. Yeah.
Any promises you can't know? Yeah, key.
It's cleaner that way, and I like
Like it tidy.
section.
Yeah, I don't like timing.
So we have
I don't have to.
2 items to rise and report on. The board has appointed Joseph Scott to the Texada Island Recreation Commission for a term of 2 years ending December 31st, 2025. And the board approved healthy workplace development for both the Mount Volunteer Fire Department and the Skeety Island Volunteer Fire Department, which entails training and supportive strategies to strengthen communication skills, dispute resolution, and enhance team building within the departments. And with that, we are adjourned. Have a nice day, folks. Enjoy the sun.
Everything right now.
Everyone enjoy the sunset.
Bye, everyone. Have a good night.